You have court in an hour.
See, I hardly woke up this morning. Felt a little nauseous, man, this house is boring. I'd rather watch paint dry, oh my, no lie, than another goddamn episode of Criminal Minds. Cause my criminal kind isn't riddled with lies. It's a story about the killing of the evil inside. If you knew what it's like to hold these demons so tight, you would probably second guess what you're doing tonight. So why not come on over? You don't have to stay home for being sober, cause I know Halloween is already over. But if it's up to me, it would say October. So let's throw a little party tonight. Invite all the people that I know I don't even like. Make them all wear a mask just to feel what it's like to hide behind all this trash that we love and call life. So let's throw a little party tonight. Grab a couple 40s and a case of something you like. Take a shot for the one that won't be here tonight. Rest in peace to the dark, yeah, we party the light. Singing, let's get fucked up. Who's got some drugs? Now my little prison, if I really don't listen, I might get another six tacked on. Back on the backtrack, the previous, I'm devious, but boring is not one. See, it's party after party, you think how could it be done? Well, I'm fucking numb, stupid, load me a gun. Let's play Russian roulette with the chamber, only missing one. Sounds fun, don't it? No need to run. So why not come on over? You don't have to stay home for being sober, cause I know Halloween is already over. But if it's up to me, it would say October. So let's throw a little party tonight. Invite all the people that I know I don't even like. Make them all wear a mask just to feel what it's like to hide behind all this trash that we love and call life. So let's throw a little party tonight. Grab a couple 40s and a case of something you like. Take a shot for the ones that won't be here tonight. Rest in peace to the dark, yeah, we party the light. Singing, let's get fucked up. Who's got some drugs?
Okay, I just want to jump in. Nobody's here. Whatever. Something I want to go over is there was a big bust in Philadelphia. We'll start with a news clip, and then we're going to jump right into, let me see, another news clip, and then the press conference.
Happening in Kensington, federal agents are carrying out an operation right now in that neighborhood. CBS News Philadelphia reporter Ryan Hughes just got to the scene just moments ago. So, Ryan, what are you seeing there?
Hey, Jim, good afternoon. Yeah, we are still working to learn exactly what is going on. We're checking in with our sources. We are in the 3100 block of Weymouth Street here in Kensington. And take a look behind me, well more than halfway up the block there. You can see federal agents are on the street. We saw the letters FBI on their backs. We also just saw some FBI agents covering boxes. A team of federal investigators have been out here now. They have the words Evidence Response Team written on the back of their jackets. We also want to show you some live pictures from Chopper 3, giving you probably a better view over the scene out here. We've been speaking with some neighbors. They tell me that agents have been out here for hours now gathering evidence in this area. They say they started arriving around 6 o'clock this morning. We've seen federal SWAT vehicles from Chopper 3. We are also told that agents were focusing on a home in the 700 block of Clearfield Street earlier this morning. We're told they did pull some evidence out of that home. We're also being told that agents were also on Potter Street. That is the next block over from where we are right now. We can tell you that the FBI has announced a 2 o'clock.
So something that's weird to me here is not weird, but Heather Holler Girl Gel Pen at the beginning of everything a long time ago, about a year and a half ago, when they were pretending to be my friends, she had accused me from being from this area in Philadelphia. I'm actually on the other side of the state, but according to the press conference, they state that this bust is going to affect all of America. Let's see what it does. What they got, we'll just go with it, I guess.
press conference this afternoon in the city. Sources telling us that involves what is being described as a significant narcotics investigation. Right now, it's unclear if that press conference at 2 o'clock is connected to this activity right out here. But as we come back out here live on the street again, you can see those FBI agents on the street. They have been going into some homes, we're told, gathering evidence. We saw a couple of agents walking down the street with boxes of evidence. It's exactly unclear what they are looking for. But again, the FBI has called a news conference at 2 o'clock this afternoon. We will go to that news conference and bring you the very latest. And again, we're working to learn exactly what is going on. We'll have more at cbsphiladelphia.com. For now, we're live in Kensington. Ryan Hughes. Jim, back to you.
Thanks so much, Ryan.
Called one of the largest in Philadelphia history. Tonight, dozens have been indicted in an alleged drug ring stretching from Kensington to Puerto Rico. The FBI revealed today that 33 people have now been charged, 30 taken into custody, all of it following a very visible raid just before 11.
So Trump has all these ICE raids going on. I notice a lot from Puerto Rico are being arrested. Puerto Rico is actually part of America. So I'm curious how that deportation system works with this when it is American territory. Maybe I'll go into ChatGPT and we can ChatGPT a few things up after the press conference.
11 a.m. today, dozens of FBI agents descending on a home here along Weymouth Street in Kensington, as police tell it that street was the nexus of a sprawling drug enterprise. Action News reporter Amy McCormick live at the FBI building in Center City tonight. Amy, this operation brought the FBI director to Philadelphia today.
Yeah, and that's how important it was to the agency. Both the FBI director and also the U.S. Attorney, Brian, calling this a historic gang takedown for a gang that they say took over a portion of Kensington. FBI agents at Allegheny and Weymouth Streets this morning raiding this Kensington block in what officials are calling a historic federal indictment.
We have permanently removed a drug trafficking organization out of the streets of Philadelphia, and they're going to stop pouring guns and chemicals and drugs into our communities.
FBI Director Kash Patel in Philadelphia today. The target, the Weymouth Street gang, described as violent drug traffickers who ran this part of Kensington operating like a business. The organization also has connections to New Jersey, Delaware, and Puerto Rico. Officials say these photos that are part of the indictment reference the violent nature of the gang, with associates threatening to harm people if they went to authorities.
It's a massive drug trafficking conspiracy spanning nearly a decade, involving tremendous volumes of fentanyl and narcotics, and it takes place at the epicenter of the opioid crisis.
33 people were indicted, 30 are in custody, and 24 were arrested this morning. The U.S. Attorney
To me, 34 people ain't enough. I just don't see it as enough. That's not going to do justice. What they're saying is they went for the epicenter of the biggest guys in Philadelphia in this cartel or whatever it is, this gang. And they arrested the epicenter of it, which of course is going to be a takedown. But living in the hood, I can tell you that there's always a backup.
singled out the leaders of this drug trafficking organization.
This DTO was led by Jose Antonio Morales Nieves, aka Flaco, a 45-year-old man from Puerto Rico, but a frequent flyer here in Philadelphia, who essentially owned the 3100 block of Weymouth Street and allowed other members of the DTO to sell drugs on the block in exchange for a payment of rent. He was joined by Ramon Roman Montañez, 40-year-old from Philadelphia, who essentially ran the day-to-day operations.
We are removing.
So they're saying this was a landlord. He owned all the property on the land, and he would allow people to give him or sell in order to pay rent. How many other cities, small towns in America is this going on in? That we have an epidemic where our loved ones are highly addicted. This is a good start. We see these type of busts everywhere. One that intrigues me, and actually several, is what's going on in Kentucky at the moment because it's closest to summer, right? So I cover summer, and that's one that is really interesting to me because it has names that connect to the same people in Summer's area with some relationships that I could find, like Morlock.
Moving an entire coordinated section of gang violence permanently off the streets. And that's how you deliver a victory.
Now, the FBI says that 11 search warrants were served, including some outside of the city. Those defendants, Brian, all facing charges related to drug trafficking, but also to dogfighting. For now, reporting live outside of FBI headquarters, Annie McCormick, Channel 6, Action News. Brian.
Yeah, massive ring.
Trying to get some more light here. Do you notice a similarity where you see the trafficking? You see a lot of animal fighting. I don't know if that's going to work. My daughter has this neat little UV light, but it's broke. And I'm trying to get it to work for light because my lighting in here is awful. But anyways, what you see a lot of times is you'll find like animal fighting. Ooh. Now I got an orange spot on my head. Let's see. Not working. Let's try that. Best I can. But you'll see a lot of like other activities going on, which is something that made me curious in Summer's case with the chicken fighting. And then we go to find out as we're discovering things that there was a lot of dog fighting within that situation as well. So you'll find other types of crimes involved.
Taken down today. Annie, thank you.
So here's the press conference. We'll just sit back. It's 27 minutes long. Let me see up northern. Let me see if I can make it go a little faster and we still understand it.
Yeah, huddle around. Let's do it. You guys did all the work, huddle around. All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's an honor to be here in North Philadelphia today. What you see amassed in front of you is what happens when you let good cops be cops, when you let interagency, state and local police work together to rid our cities of the harmful plague of drug trafficking organizations and gang violence. And there's an important distinction to be made. Yesterday I was in the White House with the President for the Homeland Security Task Force. And while that lift is being done at the international level to wipe out drug trafficking organizations and gang violence, our urban cities from Los Angeles to Philadelphia, New York, and everywhere in between are being plagued by localized street gangs and gang violence and drug trafficking organizations. Once the drugs and guns come in, they need an outfit to deliver them to our community.
So New York is really close to Philadelphia and New Jersey. It's like a little triangle there, right? Upstate would be more Buffalo, but you got a picture like that's where Andrew is and all that stuff. So you got a picture that the drugs are probably coming from both directions when you go north and you think trafficking.
And we needed to attack those outfits. And the reason I wanted to come to Philadelphia today is because this takedown, brought to you by the men and women standing behind me and their wonderful teams, the Philadelphia Police Department, the FBI, the United States Attorney's Office, are bringing to bear what law enforcement can do when you unleash them and let them go after the criminals that are destroying our communities, that are harming our civilization, and that are hurting our children. This Weymouth Street Gang is not just one instance of removing a couple of people. It is an example of how you remove an entire organization that is corrupting not just the city of Philadelphia, but the state of Pennsylvania as well. And I felt it extremely important to come in here and say, not only are we removing guns and gang members and robbers and firearms, we are removing an entire coordinated section of gang violence permanently off the streets. And that's how you deliver a victory for the people of Philadelphia, the people of Pennsylvania, and the people of America. I'm so proud and humbled to be joined here today by these wonderful representatives from the police force, from the FBI, and a shout out to the Department of Justice and our United States Attorney Metcalf here. You need courageous prosecutors to bring these cases. You need people that aren't going to say no, that are going to bend the knee, that are going to say, oh, it's too hard to bring this case, it's too difficult to collect the evidence. When you hear the details of this case, everyone in America should be looking at this takedown. This takedown is how you safeguard American cities from coast to coast. This takedown is an interagency process process, years in the making. Extensive legal service and process was executed here, correctly done to make sure that the integrity of the investigation is upheld and the criminals are put into the legal system and brought before a judge and a jury, and they will have their rightful day in court. But the overarching importance of this case and this takedown is this is exactly how you safeguard American lives. You go after the organizations that are inflicting pain across America in each and every city. And this is my tenure as FBI director. This is one of the largest and most impressive gang takedowns that I have ever seen. So I felt it important to come here and just shake the hands of the brave men and women that did this work. I did not have much of a role in this operation. The FBI brought in an incredible amount of assets to include HRT and SWAT teams, tactical teams to hit houses at the same time. The level of coordination that goes into just the takedown is a small reflection of the level of coordination and planning that goes into making a case like this happen. We have permanently removed a drug trafficking organization out of the streets of Philadelphia, and they're going to stop pouring guns and chemicals and drugs into our communities, and our children are safer today. So I just want to thank the men and women of law enforcement, the U.S. Attorney's Office, and of course, the proud men and women of the FBI for leading the charge across this country. If anyone out there is watching in your streets and your communities, this is how you stop gang violence. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. It's an honor to have you here today. My name is David Metcalf. I'm the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. I'm pleased to be joined by Special Agent in Charge Wayne Jacobs for the FBI, Special Agent in Charge Todd Hodnett with the DEA. We're also joined by the Pennsylvania Attorney General's Office, Kirsten Hine, and Chief of Criminal Investigations John Kissinger. And of course, we're always pleased to have Commissioner Bethel here. It's an honor to have you here, sir, as well. Today, we are announcing a historic indictment. This case involves 33 defendants.
Something I thought I could go over is Smiley. So on February 4th, 2023, Dawn gets on the phone with Smiley. So the reason I cover the trafficking is because you hear things from the parents of Summer Wells like this. I think this is important.
Well, the only child trafficking places that I know about, that I personally know about, is like Los Angeles, Southern California, and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I personally know about that by accident.
Okay. What do you mean by accident? How do you know about that by accident?
Back in my cocaine days, you know, when I was younger, and I was out there doing all that dumb shit, I ran into some shit like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand it at that time. But now, looking back, you know, in my mind, I'm like, wow, you know, I'm a million miles away from that now, but now I get it, and I understand what was happening. But, you know, I didn't get it then when I was younger.
Right.
But now, looking back, it's like, okay, I can put the pieces together, the puzzle pieces together, and it's like, these kids were taken away or run away, and they got them hooked on drugs and put out on the street, boys and girls. We're talking about Stockton, California now. This is a whole different world that none of y'all are familiar with.
Right, right.
This is a drug area to the max.
You know, even in Elizabeth Smart, you know, not getting off on another subject, but, you know, they always try to clear the parents first.
I was in Utah when Elizabeth Smart was abducted. I was in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually gave that motherfucker about fucking 75 cents.
Oh, wow.
That motherfucker would go downtown, Salt Lake City. And dressed in like Jesus clothes, and he would go hold his hand out, and I was like, he come walking up to me, and held his hand out. I said, well, what is it that you want? And he didn't say a word, no words at all, and he just held his hand out again like that. Like, held his hand out. I was like, okay, I guess you want money. So I give him, some change, not knowing that this dude is the one that put the Elizabeth Smart.
Right.
I was there in Salt Lake City at the time of her abduction.
That was so sad.
Okay. Just please continue to pray and support her. Please. I don't give a fuck what y'all think about me. I can give a fuck what I anymore. I'm an animal. I'm this bad person. Okay, whatever. I don't give a fuck about that. This is my beautiful daughter that matters. Okay? I want to say God bless you to all the people out there that support my daughter. Please all support me. Please. That I'm a fucking an evil motherfucker because that's what I become. Okay?
Okay.
That's what I think about.
Excuse me.
It's not about me. It's about when you go through so much stress, man, you can have a hard time with that. I've been
Well, listen.
I become so hard 98. I became so hard because they took my kid, my first kid as a kid. And I started, and I don't much tell you all this. I became so hard. It was crazy. Oh my gosh. I can't believe, oh wow. I mean, I became part of the prison system to the point that they was paying me a lot of money to go against a super partner person. Oh my gosh.
Let me read this. Let me see if my mic's on. Okay. I'm going to read this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe. Oh wow. I mean, I became part of the food system to the point they was paying me a lot of money to go get, it says people. It's unintelligible, but I heard something about people. Let's listen.
To go against a super partner person.
To go get something for the person.
Oh my gosh. They was actually paying me to bring it down a certain part of the system.
They were paying him to bring him down to a certain part of Houston. Here, in my opinion, Don's talking about his oldest son.
And I had people, they give me brandy balls, all kinds
I had people wanting to give me something, Xanny bars, all kinds of
of stuff, and I was just,
stuff.
and you know what, I told them to fuck off.
And you know what? I told them to go fuck off. Oh my gosh, they traffic children, by the way.
They're terrific children, by the way.
Yeah.
So for some reason, the whole video ain't here. But I need to go over Smiley. One day we should go find it. When he was 7 in the United States, hold on. Smiley asked, this is a video that don't have the thing on it, but these are the things that he said during this live. If you guys want to hurry up and clip it, take just the things that Dawn has said when it comes to things like trafficking in Summer's case. And then the things that I said earlier, it was Dawn, Angel. We can go listen again. This isn't the whole recording. I have the whole thing, but this is what I found before I went live. This is Dawn talking about human trafficking. In this same live stream, I don't have it. He tells us about how his mother would sell women out of a hotel, and that there were police that would stand by the door and allow this to happen and keep eye out so that there weren't any arrests. this interview with Smiley was always extremely interesting to me, and I think it was important. I think Don was messed up and he was talking. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, Angel. We can go watch it in a minute if you want. But let's listen to Dawn talk about human trafficking. Again, I'm going to come down. You guys just take it in. But this is why, and drug trafficking, and this is why I'm covering the other drug trafficking stuff, because I want you to hear how that sort of stuff connects all over the United States and how it could be a huge possibility in Summer's case. I'm not saying it is, but it's a possibility, especially when you put in Karen Hill Elliott worked at the AmeriCorps when Layla went missing, and then later talks about Layla's clothes being on her parents' property. That disturbs me.
Well, the only trafficking places that I know about, that I personally know about, is like Los Angeles, Southern California, and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I personally know about that by accident.
Okay. What do you mean by accident? How do you know about that by accident?
Something else that's interesting about his time in California is him and Pam did not live together. He lived with his mother, and Pam lived in a separate area. And in that separate area, she lived with somebody named Jose, who I tracked to New York, except it was New York City, and he had some pretty interesting charges. Jose and Lydia.
Back in my cocaine days, you know, when I was younger and I was out there doing all that dumb shit, I ran into some shit like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand it at that time. But now looking back, you know, in my mind, I'm like, wow, you know, I'm a million miles away from that now, but now I get it and I understand what was happening. You know, I didn't get it then when I was younger.
Right.
But now, looking back, it's like, okay, I can put the pieces together, the puzzle pieces together, and it's like, these kids were taken away or run away, and they got them hooked on drugs and put out on the street, boys and girls. We're talking about Stockton, California now. This is a whole different world that none of y'all are familiar with.
Right, right.
This is a drug area to the max.
You know, even in Elizabeth Smart, you know, not getting off on another subject, but, you know, they always try to clear the parents first.
I was in Utah when Elizabeth Smart was abducted. I was in Utah. Mm-hmm. I actually gave that motherfucker about fucking 75 cents.
Oh, wow.
That motherfucker would go downtown Salt Lake City and dressed in like Jesus clothes, and he would go hold his hand out, and I was like, he come walking up to me and held his hand out. I said, well, what is it that you want? And he didn't say a word, no words at all, and he just held his hand out again like that. He held his hand out. I was like, okay, I guess you want money. So I give him, you know, some change, not knowing that this dude is the one that took Elizabeth Smart.
Right.
I was there in Salt Lake City at the time of her abduction.
That was so sad.
Okay. Just please continue to pray and support her. Please. I don't give a fuck what y'all think about me. I give a fuck about anymore. You know, I'm an animal. I'm this bad person. Okay, whatever. I don't give a fuck about that. This is my beautiful daughter that matters. Okay, so I want to say God bless you to all the people out there that support support my daughter. Please all support me. Please. That I'm a fucking evil motherfucker because that's what I've become. Okay?
Okay.
That's what I think about.
Excuse me.
It's not about me. It's about when you go through so much stress, man, you have a hard time with that. I've been, I know.
Well, listen.
I become so hard, 98. I became so hard because they took my kid, my first kid, as a kid. And I started, and I don't much tell you all this. I became so hard.
Who took your first set of kids, Dawn? You searched so hard. That doesn't sound like DCF. You would know where they were. So who took your kids while you were trafficking? Patterns, man.
It was crazy. Oh my gosh. I can't believe. Oh wow. I become part of the food system to the point that they was paying me a lot of money to go against the super part of the prison. Oh my gosh. They was actually paying me to bring it down a certain part of the system. And I had people, they give me branding cars, all kinds of stuff. And I was just, and you know what? I told them to fuck off. They're trying to kill me, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go to the bathroom and then we're going to go to We Can Bring You Hope's YouTube page and see what summer material and other material they have on there. Angel on Earth sent it to me. I think it's worth going over. All right. I will return. Let's listen to the bust that just happened in Kensington, Philadelphia.
It's a massive drug trafficking conspiracy spanning nearly a decade, involving tremendous volumes of fentanyl and narcotics. And it takes place at the epicenter of the opioid crisis here in the Kensington neighborhood of Philadelphia. This indictment by defendant is the largest federal indictment this century, brought by our district. And like a precision missile, it has been targeted for maximum impact where it needed to go. As I said, at the heart of the opioid scourge here in Kensington. As of this morning, 29 defendants are in custody, thanks to a successful operation by the FBI and our other law enforcement partners. Throughout the course of the coordinated takedown, as well as the investigation overall, we've been able to recover dozens of firearms off the street, including assault rifles, seize substantial volumes of fentanyl and narcotics at locations associated with the defendant. This case takes place at the crossroads of drugs and violence, and we are all here with a loud and unmistakable message that we are reclaiming these neighborhoods for the people who live and work here. We are taking back what the defendants are alleged to have stolen from the community, which is peace, prosperity, law, and order. As the director's presence here today indicates, this case is special. It's one of those few cases which, if successful, will eliminate an entire criminal outfit. It will clean and cleanse a whole neighborhood and will virtually eradicate a violent drug trafficking organization root and stem. To be clear, every defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty. An indictment is only an allegation. And this indictment alleges that the Weymouth Street drug trafficking organization, for nearly a decade, sold and distributed substantial volumes of fentanyl, crack cocaine, and heroin, mostly in the 3100 block of Weymouth Street. They made their living in one of the most notorious and prolific segments of an open-air drug market here in Kensington. They ran it like a business, but they also ran it, as the director alluded to, by violence, by fear, and by threats. They enforced their territory through the threats of assaults, shootings, and murder. They threatened anyone who talked to or cooperated with law enforcement. They were armed. The indictment further alleges that this DTO was led by Jose Antonio Morales Nieves, aka Flaco, a 45-year-old man from Puerto Rico, but a frequent flyer here in Philadelphia, who essentially owned the 3100 block of Weymouth Street and allowed other members of the DTO to sell drugs on the block in exchange for a payment of rent. He was joined by Roman Montañez, 40-year-old from Philadelphia, who essentially ran the day-to-day operations of the Weymouth Street DTO. He collected revenue, he organized the schedules of the workers, and orchestrated a pretty sophisticated business enterprise that peddled in poison. He also was responsible for procuring the drug supply for the organization. And on that score, I'll note that the indictment alleges that this organization did not care how dangerous the drugs were that they peddled to customers. Mr. Montañez wanted it as strong and as powerful as possible. In fact, the indictment alleges that at one point, one DTO member acknowledged the deadly nature of the drugs they were selling, and yet the DTO continued to sell it day by day, month after month, for nearly a decade. Fortunately, both of these men and most of their compatriots are now in the custody of the FBI, awaiting federal prosecution. I encourage all of you to read the indictment. It is now unsealed, and I couldn't possibly encapsulate and summarize all the offense conduct in just a press conference, but it is truly staggering. As I mentioned, this case is special. I, as a U.S. attorney, obviously represent the office and I lead it, but as a career prosecutor, I'd be remiss if I didn't give true credit where it belongs, which is to the line prosecutors and agents who built the case. And you only build a case like this with skill and ferocity, and day by day working it up to build a case that truly makes a difference. A case that is a long-term, comprehensive annihilation of a criminal organization. Those don't come around a lot. And I'll also say this couldn't be done without Commissioner Bethel and the Philadelphia Police Department. When you have a case like this and you have a significant federal indictment, I sometimes think there's this misconception that is a purely federal case, and that's just not true. You can't build a case like this of this magnitude and scale without the support of the Philadelphia Police Department. You can't do it without the resources they provide, and more importantly, the intelligence. And on that score, while I have everyone here, I'd like to talk about this case, but also talk more globally and strategically about what we're doing in this city to combat gun violence and drug trafficking. Because it's more than this case. This case is just an illustration and example of that work. And what we're doing is the Department of Justice, the U.S. Attorney's Office, FBI, DEA, HSI, ATF, and the Philadelphia Police Department have established an initiative, a violent crime initiative called PSN Recon. This is the violent crime initiative of the federal and state law enforcement community to attack violence in this city going forward. PSN Recon is named after Project Safe Neighborhood, which is the department's existing program combating gun violence. Best intelligence. And the best intelligence doesn't live in one place. It lives everywhere. And so Commissioner Bethel, myself, and our federal agency partners are now meeting every month to diagnose block by block, district by district, gang by gang, who is driving the violence in this city. You'll hear more details about PSN Recon in future dates, but this case is a good illustration of what this program is about. And at this point, I'll turn it over to Special Agent in Charge, Wayne Jacobs, for the FBI to talk.
Thank you, sir. I want to start by thanking our director, Mr. Patel, for being here. His support of this investigation of our field office means everything to the folks who put this work together. So thank you, sir, for being here. For too long, the Weymouth Street drug trafficking organization flooded the streets of Kensington with drugs and terrorized residents with horrific acts of violence and intimidation. That ended today. Early this morning, the FBI, working with our state, local, and federal partners, executed arrest warrants for 22 at-large defendants. 8 additional defendants who are currently in local custody will be transferred into federal custody next week. Also executed this morning were 11 search warrants. The results of those search warrants are still pending. This morning's operation involved hundreds of law enforcement personnel, 9 tactical teams, and extended beyond Philadelphia with arrests in San Juan, Puerto Rico, Wilmington, Delaware, and Millville, New Jersey. But the vast majority of our actions were concentrated right here in Kensington, where this organization devastated the community, fueled violence, and spread fear among residents for nearly a decade. Today's arrests were a culmination of a multi-year investigation, a testament to the persistence, coordination, and dedication of the women and men who refused to let this organization continue to harm the city. Our message is clear. The FBI and our partners will not tolerate those who endanger our neighborhoods through drugs and violence. While our work today is done, our commitment to the city is not. We will remain here standing with the people of Kensington, protecting those who seek peace and stability in their neighborhood. As the United States Attorney just emphasized, today's action advances the goals of Project Safe Neighborhoods, and specifically PSN Recon, a focused initiative that identifies the most violent and dangerous individuals in our communities and holds them accountable. The FBI proudly amplifies that message. We stand with this community. Our job doesn't end with these arrests. It includes building trust, listening, and working together to create lasting safety. In the coming days, residents will see FBI public safety ads on social media platforms with information on how to safely and securely share tips about drug trafficking and violent crime in your communities. If you know something that can help make your block safer, we want to hear from you. Every piece of information, no matter how small, can make a difference. Finally, I want to thank our partners. Partnership sits at the foundation of everything the FBI does. None of this would have been possible without the commitment and professionalism of every agency, department, and office represented here today. Philadelphia has made tremendous progress in the fight against violent crime, and that work continues. Together, with our partners and with the people of Kensington, we will keep
Thank you for that, Wayne. I appreciate those words, and just wanted to recognize the team here today. You know, as I live around the group here, Director Patel, I appreciate the support, and I share with you behind the scenes my appreciation for my colleague and law enforcement colleagues and U.S. Attorney here as well. colleagues from the state. I mean, this is the work. I constantly tell people, we are having significant success across the city this year, and it's not just about the Philadelphia Police Department. It's those relationships that we've had for quite some time, and we continue to use those relationships to move forward. It was just not too long ago after Kata Scott's, we found her murderer. It was the FBI that I would turn to help us in that investigation and talking to Wayne throughout that. So we're constantly behind the scenes working together, and I'm just so appreciative of that. I do want to recognize Commissioner Kelly, who oversees our narcotics team, and our narcotics officers here today, and the Bureau for their hard work and their engagement. 2 years ago, when I joined back to the police department after being here 30 years, the mayor talked about one Philly in action, and this is exactly the model that the mayor at the time talked about. She charged us at that time, to not just turn into turf battles and not to be in silos in our work, and that the agencies working together, we can have an impact on impacting the lives of the people that we serve. And it was
Okay. I went to the bathroom. My hands are still wet. Sorry. Okay, so we're on the We Can Bring You Hope site. A couple things I want to do here. Let's go up here. Oh. Their website is no longer working. Curious. That's good. They joined in 2017. We Could Bring You Hope. They have 130 subscribers, 138 videos, 8,610 views. However, when you go to their page, you don't see 138 videos. You see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see 22 videos. So did this organization have a different name? Did they take videos down? That's just interesting to me. Their first video you see on here is You Will Be Found 8 years ago. We'll just click this on and then we'll go through the years, and 4 years ago when summer started. They covered a Clayton, another guy. I think we should just go through. They're all short videos and watch each and every one of them from the first time we see Summer's face. But this is their start. I don't see nothing wrong with this. Case manager 8885-HOPE-02 in every single one of them. So they were directing calls to them in each and every single one of these cases. As you see. These cases are in several different states. 904. Oh no, they're directing Lisa. It goes too fast. You can't even see the missing person's information. They're not updating and letting you know if these people have been found. Again, 8885-HOPE-02, case manager. That's where they're directing tips for each of these people. Just odd to me. Okay, let's go back. Let's start with their first summer content, which is right here. Just the right number. Just pictures. This is appreciated. Everybody should be sharing Summer's picture. Okay, that's what we're getting out of this video. Not much to it. Then they covered Justice for Clayton right after that, and then this one. But here's another summer one. This one's 1 minute and 4 seconds. I'm going to shut the music off. Again, where they're directing tips to them. Remember, Robin was handing out their flyers first. They were the only flyers Robin wanted handed out. She was Xing off the red truck and the real flyers that Chris McDonough showed her. So pretty much the same. Another summer video. It looks the same. In my opinion, these videos aren't very informative. They're not even sitting there long enough for you to read what is being said. It looks like all of these videos are the same. And then here's Truth Biscuits. Let's see what this has, if this is anything. Turn the music off. They're very into their YouTube. Okay, so it's just, again, too fast to read anything. We'll pause it. We can bring you hope. Yes, there is a fake reward. They are trying to avoid LE. Did I see this morning? It was a fake reward. Is the advocacy group working with Dawn and Candace, diverting or controlling what they share with LEO? The flyers are being put up by the Hope Group, and someone has taken down the other flyers. Tiffany is saying Dawn and Candace put up a fake flyer. They support SA. That's why the PIs put their email up, and We Can Bring You Hope Group put up their tip line, because on one will talk to the police. Not very professional. I can't spell either, but they knew about the prank call and then put them up to it. So who is she saying put Dawn and Candace up to a prank call? Dawn told Chris they were the PI and they are frauds. Fraudulent tip line and fake reward going around Summer Wells community. Wonder how fast charges hit those behind this fake info. Let's all take the organization down. If they have a review section or Facebook, let's go blast them. They lied and told everyone they were PIs. They aren't PIs. I think we're just seeing this as them putting their comments of accusations. Here's another video.
Our Churchill Rescue Squad.
I say we listen to this one. I want informative opinions.
Put out flyers in Tennessee and God only knows where else with a reward of $50,000. Now, as of right now, October 16th, 2021 at 5:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as far as we know, reported by Churchill Rescue Squad, there is only 40,300 or 40,400 in the reward fund. That's going to change really soon. But this has been up for a long time. Months. I want to say about 2 months. So these flyers were hung up with a $50,000 reward that does not exist. There is no $50,000 reward. Not yet, anyhow. So we've got a fake reward price here. And then down here, it says, if you know anything about where he or she could be,
Here's the problem.
contact, we can.
All of your flyers have tips directed to you. We just watched videos where you put a number to you, and it's not the same number that you gave for summer. Now, on top of that, you're still going around in our local area. We can bring you hope, people. Hi to those who know me. Fuck you. You're still going around and passing flyers around with fake tip numbers on them. So much so that the missing persons detective here in Pittsburgh told me to remove your flyers. Now, we just went to your website and it has been taken down. I'm going to hope that some government agency gave us hope and made that happen. I don't think you're very proper, in my opinion.
Bring You Hope organization at our anonymous tip line at 724-465-4673, or you can leave a tip on our website at www.wecanbringyouhope.org. The TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND.
And let me tell you that I have been sending messages to family members of the people that I know in this organization. I just sent one before I went live to somebody. So I'm hoping to hear back from them so we can figure out what the fuck is going on here, since they come from my very small little town of Glassport, Pennsylvania, and up in Butler, and even in some other states. There's a sector of this We Can Bring You Hope. I don't know, something just rings really fucking shady to me. Where did they go? What happened? Y'all just disappeared? When we're done with this, we'll go listen to the leaked call again.
Tips can be emailed to tips@tbi@tn.gov, Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. Now, do you see how on Facebook everything looks pretty legit? TBI's first in line, Hawkins County, then We Can Bring You Hope. Well, not on this one. And how come? Let me go back really quick. Why is this one? Look at the difference between the one that's posted up on doors and windows around town and then the one that's posted on Facebook where it's easy access for TBI to go check it out, right? Here. There's no reward listed on this one. Just reward, not $50,000 reward. Why are they putting the TBI first on this one, but not on this one? It doesn't make any sense.
In my opinion, this is very unprofessional for a 501c3 that wants to help find children. If this is how you do this and you're doing it on YouTube. They were also collecting reward money, helping Cam, playing games. They were involved in the, the leaked phone call. So let me go to Canva. Let's type in, we can bring you hope. This is a call with We Can Bring You Hope and Dawn. Dawn Will's call with We Can Bring You Hope. I'm also going to look for a Benny video where Benny is arbitrating. Questions, Benny. And he's reading a letter that Dawn supposedly wrote. We found out it was Sissy Prayer Garden, and Candace was shooting up. But it was We Can Bring You Hope that was on the phone with them while all of this was going on, telling Dawn, sit down. Dawn, sit down.
Hey, everybody. This is Michelle from We Can Bring You Hope. I just want to let you know that this is a pre-recorded show. This was recorded last week, and I am going to be speaking with Donald Wells, but I have a few things that I want to say first. There's been a lot of craziness on social media, as there always is with every case. It seems like a lot of the cases that, or a lot of the things that have been going on with this case in particular have been like one thing after another. And We Can Bring You Hope has been working with Donald and Candace for, weeks now, almost since right after Summer went missing. Let me just, for those of you who don't know, Summer is a missing 5-year-old little girl from Rogersville, Tennessee.
Hey, since you guys are local to me, you would know about a man named Don Mascani. I'm not scared to dox him because he's on the news for touching kids at food pantries and churches. Wonder if you could tell me a little bit about that. I'm hearing rumors that he might have been involved in something with my sister. I don't know for sure, but my sister's kids were put on the dark web. Little curious. I'd really like to talk to you guys. Since Jess has custody of my sister's kids, if y'all ever want to grab a link, just let me know.
She went missing June 15th. She is 3 foot tall. She weighs 40 pounds. She has blonde hair and blue eyes. If you know anything about Summer's disappearance, I need you to call 1-800-TBI-FIND, or you can call tips to TBI at Tennessee.gov, or the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, I apologize, at 423-272-7121. She is listed in NCMEC and NamUs. As I do with all of our cases, this is not specific to Summer's case. You can call or text to our tip line at 724-466-4673. You can also leave tips on our website at www.wecanbringyouhope.org. Before I even get started, I want to say something, because during one of the earlier broadcasts, there was a statement made that was misinformation that stated that We Can Bring You Hope represented themselves as private investigators, or, there was a misstatement. So I'm going to read you something that we posted on our website on August 5th. In light of recent statements that were circulating over social media, We Can Bring You Hope would like to clear up some misinformation being stated about the organization. This misinformation was stated by a family that we provide support to in a recent interview on YouTube, that we were private detectives. This information, while not intentional, was simply a wrong choice of words and was not accurate. While we do have access to private detectives, we conduct our own independent research, and the organization itself is an advocacy service. We do not advertise as private detectives, nor do we present ourselves as private detectives. We Can Bring You Hope is an organization that advocates for the missing. We state clearly on our website what our mission is: to advocate for the missing and support the families of the missing. I also want to add in here that we also work with murdered and domestic violence families too, but that was not released in our statement. Our support services are catered to meeting with the various needs of the family, with the ultimate goal of providing guidance and empowerment to those who have a missing loved one. We do not, will not, and have not conducted any interviews with any news reporters or podcasters or YouTubers regarding any of our families that we advocate for, unless given specific permission from that family. All information that we share with the family or receive from the family is kept confidential. In instances where deemed necessary, we do submit information to law enforcement. We do not share that information with the public. We Can Bring You Hope continues to assist families all across the country without prejudice, without judgment, and with the goal of walking alongside the families of the missing until which time the missing come home. So with that being said, again, the story is, this interview is going to be with Mr. Wells, Donald Wells, and we're going to be discussing summer. That is it. Because our goal as an advocacy group is to speak for summer. So, Donald, how are you this afternoon?
I'm trying to hang in there the best I can,
Yeah, I know. It's hard. Let's just go back to, let's go back to before Summer was born. Let's go back to when you met Candace. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah. We was in Arkansas, and when I just fell in love with her. I don't know. It's just one of the things, we fall in love with somebody, and we tried everything in the world not to have kids, but ended up having 4 kids, But, I don't know. Nothing unusual, I don't think. Just, I don't know. We started out in a van, lived in our van for quite a while, and she worked with me for a long time. Got our own, our own place and everything up there, and had Jeff. I don't know. We just worked all over Arkansas.
So notice, they have to come on with a bunch of disclaimers. They have to get on and explain themselves. To me, that's not professionalism when you're an organization that's looking for missing children. Hey guys, look, I sleep in my jerseys. They're so comfortable. It's what it's like when you're from Pittsburgh. Big Steeler fans.
Missouri. Got to know a lot of people up that way. I can remember us going through a small tornado up there. Always there working on a 3-story condominium. It broke all the doors, broke a bunch of windows while we was in the building, and the parking lot was just turned into a river, basically. That was kind of interesting. But, eventually my mom got sick and needed help up here in Tennessee, so we come out here to help her, and she ended up leaving us the property. But we had Wyatt first in Arkansas too. And I think, then we come here to Tennessee, and we had Waylon and Summer. So they love it.
What type of things did you guys do as a family, or what kind of type of things did Candace do with the kids? I know that I've seen a lot of photographs and videos on there, and the kids are, running around and doing all sorts of outdoorsy stuff. What kind of things did they like to do?
I have to be honest, once we started having kids, she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. You can't trust people with your kids. So she stayed at home, and I worked constantly. So she got to be with them a lot. Thank goodness she got to be with them. But I just worked all the time. And when I get home, I could enjoy some time with the kids and some family time. But for the most part, I was always working and always in trouble because I didn't spend enough time going out places and stuff. Because you get a day off, you want to do stuff, but you're just so tired and wore out. So.
Yeah, you work a pretty physical job.
Yeah. So I was always in the hot water from Candace for not doing more to go here and there and everywhere. We tried. I tried. I did the best I could. But.
So, do they like to go swimming or fishing or?
Oh yeah, we tried. One of the favorite spots up here is up here at that lake up here. But we got a canoe and other stuff. I'd always take the kids with me out on the job site, Josie and Wyatt, and they find a big old dirt pile, and that's where they'd sit all day and play in the dirt all day, and they had a blast.
Right. So, when Summer was born, how did that change your life? I mean, I know it's a huge difference whenever you have boys and then you have a girl. I know that, in our family, I have 2 boys and a girl, and then I have a girl that I have, that I'm taking care of now, my granddaughter. I've had her for a long time, and, I know that, my husband, he's wrapped around her finger.
Yeah, quite a shock having her. Of course, I was there when she was born C-section, and when the doctor pulled her out, he handed her straight to me, and I was, it amazed me that she just wanted me. I don't know why. Even as a baby, she just wanted me. And she wanted her mom too. Don't get me wrong, but she really wanted me more than I don't. And it just boggles my mind. I've never seen anything like that in my life. And and anybody, when she got older, I held her. She for the first 18 months, I'd say she had to help me, and when it's time to go to bed, she said, "Dad, will you take me downstairs and put me, lay with me for a while?" I'd go down there, I'd lay with her for a while until she went to sleep, and I'd, usually go back upstairs or whatever. But yeah, I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. And, she was a tough little girl. She was so tough. She didn't care what anybody said about her, whatever, But if I just said one word, like in a mean tone, she would break down, start crying. But Daddy, and just have tears running down her eyes. I'd have to apologize to her 10 times, and I'd have to take back whatever I said. Sorry, I said it. I'm sorry, and give her a big hug and everything. And I've never seen anything like that in my life.
I grew up in a family with all girls, and we were all really close with our dad. We were all daddy's little.
That bothers me. Statements like that from Don Wills bother me, and they bother me deeply. And it's because it sounds like he was scaring the children with the way he talked to them. He would have to apologize and say sorry. Now we see that they drink a lot, right? Look, let me show you what's going on. This is from TT and her husband, or whoever is involved in trying to steal small amounts of money all day long from our cash apps. Our cards are locked. You can stop. It never ends. I busted them in my email signing up for My Life under TT's husband's name, showing that they were connecting to my shit. At the same time, these pop up. It needs to end. You must not know which account you have my husband on. That's his account. I will be turning that in. It's never ending. Okay.
Girls, and it sounds like that's that's You know, she looked up to you. You know, she was a daddy's girl, and you know, my sons were a lot closer to me. My daughter was a lot closer, you know, to her dad, and you know, so. But my sons were always closer with me than, you know. But so I know that, you know, I just really feel like, you know, there's been a lot of, you know, I feel like we need to refocus everything back onto summer. I feel like there's been a lot of outward things. We're not going to talk about any of those. And I just feel like, you know, we need to touch base, because I know that there's a lot of businesses down there in your area that, you know, we don't have flyers in. You know, We Can Bring You Hope has faxed a 200-mile radius of flyers, and you know, it boggles my mind that there's not flyers in the businesses down there. And you know, we are planning on coming down there.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Some of y'all live over here in Carrick by me. Some of y'all live over in Glassport. I haven't seen one flyer for Summer Wells in a 200-mile radius in your own damn city. Quit lying. Why are you lying? Not one flyer in the city of Pittsburgh that I haven't put up has been put up for summer in this city. Why do you play fuck shit games?
In September, and you know, trying to get out more flyers. You know, we have some other groups that we work with, some other advocacy groups that we work with that are sharing, you know, the flyers. And you know, I don't care, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care whose flyers they share, as long as they're sharing summer space. Because somebody has to know something, or somebody has seen her somewhere. And you know, I've had people ask me, you know, why do you have your tip line on there? You're not working with, you know, TBI. Well, I never said I was working with TBI, but that tip line is on there for a reason. It's on there because people call our tip line and people leave information on there. And I've gotten information for Summer's case, and I turn it over to TBI. And people feel comfortable coming to us because we are not police.
Bullshit. The only people should feel comfortable going to is the police to get answers. You can't get answers for Summer, and it is illegal. Michael Flynn from the Pittsburgh Missing Persons Unit told me, Michelle, it is illegal. Oh, I'm getting your messages. Laptop. I'll watch that tomorrow, Angel. Okay? It is illegal to put those posters up with fake tip lines or to direct any tips to you. I was told that by somebody in your own city.
And because they can talk to us and we can, you know, get information from them and not release their names to the police. And we turn it over. And, you know, we've done that since we opened in 2016. And so, you know, or 2017, sorry. And we, you know, we can get information over to police, and, you know, it just, that's what it is, you know, and it helps, you know, all of these cases that, you know, that we work on, not just Summer. So, you know, I would be amiss if I said, if I put Summer's flyer out there and didn't have our tip line on there, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. People don't have to call that, but it's there if people want to call that. I'm not forcing anybody to call that. So, I mean, we all know, if, you know, do you want to go over anything about the day she went missing? If not, that's okay. I mean, you've told this story 1,000 times. I just really feel like
Give me 1 minute here. Damn it. Trying to do something. me look something up here. Give me 1 second. We're going to make a phone call. I spelled something wrong here. Pittsburgh missing persons phone number. Is there a reason this won't come up? Hold on. Here we go. So people know I ain't pulling no chains when I tell you I've talked to this man.
Thank you for calling the Allegheny County Call Center. Our offices are currently closed. The normal business hours are Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5:45 p.m. You may find answers to many of your questions by visiting www.
I don't think that's the right phone number. Hold on. Jesus, why am I having... Hold on, because I got it pulled up on the Google on my phone. 323-7141. 323-7141. Two, 323-7141. We're going to leave a message. Come on. Or we're not. Four 412-323-7141 is the number for Michael Flynn, who's covering the missing family member of We Can Bring You Hope. I don't know why they're not answering. Usually there's a telephone service that will answer and leave my messages for Mr. Flynn. The person you called can't be reached right now. Their phone may be off or they may be out of service. But that's the phone number. If you guys want to call them yourself, We Can Bring You Hope. You can call and check on it. I'm sure you already know who the detective on your family member's case is. And I'm sure they told you take the fucking flyers down. All right. I will call with you guys live during the day someday this week, next week. It is a Friday, Saturday.
You know, I feel like I wanted to give you a voice where it was just focusing on summer, you know, and just, you know, what would you say to the people that have summer or that took summer?
Well, I've said a lot of things to the people that's got her, you know.
Right.
Tried to address that. Apparently, you know, they don't care. And you know, and I've been going around here, around our area and other areas at night, you know, and not in the night, but in the evening, and but you just meet a lot of opposition. People don't want you in around their areas. That battle that you're trying to fight against the whole world, trying to find your little girl and everybody's fighting you all the way around. And there's these areas and these people you just got to question them. You got to get in there. You know what?
Right.
And how do you do that? How do you fight a criminal element or whatever and get inside their head or whatever? And,
we've done a bunch of stuff behind the scenes, and a lot of it we haven't even shared with you. We've given you bits and pieces of stuff. And there's a reason why we do that, because I don't want anything that we have found or, that we've dug into, I don't want that released to the public because I don't want it to jeopardize Summer's case. If it turns out to be something that can be helpful,
I agree with that. It should be turned into TBI. However, you should have TBI's permission to go digging into things as a 501c3 with professionalism. This is not the type of phone call you would put out to the public. I don't understand a lot of the games that have been played in Summer's case, especially, right, did they find something? What did they find? What aren't you telling Dawn? Hi, neighbors. Longtime buddies. Friends, backstabbers. Linda lovers. Bitches. What happened to Chester?
everything over to TBI, and we give everything that we find to them. Spoken to a couple other people that we've given that we've decided that we thought it was a good thing to do. They were search organizations and and things like that. But we also have a group of people, like I said earlier, that we are getting together, that we're going to come down there, we're going to do some things down there. I'm not going to be specific about it.
I'm down.
But we don't just sit on our hands. We try to dig in and do what we can.
Right. But I don't know what the police are doing. I feel like I need to go out and look into certain areas. Because I do have a past, and I know, if I was in one of these places, I would want my dad to come looking for me at all costs.
Right.
I just wish I had some help.
Well, that's what we're working on. You know what I mean? We're working on getting people down there to, help. We have some people that we have, that are focusing on helping you do some of that, and some people that are focusing on, doing, some more prayer vigils, which, I know that sounds, it just.
Let's take a break from this. Let's go listen to the hot mic moment. I just feel like they played a lot of games. They were very involved with people like Chase and Cam, Robin. Local to me or not, I don't give a fuck. What are you doing down in Tennessee playing fuck shit games in Summer's case? Roxanne DeFelice, where are you? I believe you were using your grandmother's picture. Your grandmother's on the board of directors, but are you somehow involved in this? A direct tie right to my ex-brother-in-law? I don't know what the fuck y'all got going on, but this shit ain't cool. In my opinion.
Hi, Catherine. I don't know where Viv is. I think she's dealing with whatever she's dealing with. But look, I am super, super slammed, okay? Catherine and I have been trying, we're literally dealing with this summer shit like 24/7. I'm not even joking. There's just so much shit. My son is blowing up. We have somebody that's going to do some boots on the ground this weekend for us.
I'm not sure who Damsel is. For some reason, I think it's Roxanne. Michelle is local to me. Teresa would be the one that would be connected to the Roxanne DeFelice, a grandmother name. That's where I found them as the board of directors. I don't know the rest of these people. Michelle is local to where I live now. Has a missing family person where they're directing the tips to the wrong phone number again. Just explained that. But they are 100% from up here in my city, along with Kelly Fustos and many others. Kelly Fustos' cousin was my best man at my wedding to my husband. Yeah. Oh, what'd I do?
You know, I don't even know what to say. We just got we've got 2 new cases so far in Arizona that are missing persons cases. We're supposed to get a 3rd. I need everybody to pitch in and help. And I'm really fucking pissed that Scott left because
They also have members up in Butler County, very close to the area where the Isaiah house went in up here. The Isaiah 117 that Gavel and them were promoting for individuals. Yeah.
he was very effective for us, and you know what I mean? He was trying to help out, and, you know, I think he got kind of nervous when I put the post out this morning, but again, I'm not chasing anybody. If people don't want to be in here participating, then, you know, I'm not trying to be ignorant, but you can leave. Right, I literally am trying to do my classes for my PI. I'm trying to deal with all the shit with the school. You know, not everybody knows this, but, you know, my daughter's getting arrested for vehicular homicide. I'm helping my son get situated with my grandson, my other grandson, Darian's son. And, you know, I'm working my full-time business. I'm trying to work this case. You know, everybody forgets that I have a whole other business that I run. A computer. I didn't know. I get that we're all busy. I'm not trying to be ignorant, but I need to know, you know, and I think a little bit of what threw Scott off was all of these podcasts. I get that nobody wants to sit here and listen to this shit. I don't either. But we have to listen to this shit. We're not finding out stuff. Believe me, I have a normal.
It's not normal, but it's also not normal for 501c3 to involve themselves where they are involved in reading letters while the parents shoot up online. Written to said child while Dawn Wells is shitting on a toilet. You're on the phone. Dawn, sit down. Dawn, sit down. In the middle of the night. Shouldn't your business be conducting business during the daytime hours, not on YouTube in the middle of the night? As a local to you, I'm embarrassed. I would have joined you. I would have volunteered for your agency. To me, this is gross as fuck.
Go ahead. We have a huge connection. Like, we have all of these different things. You know, when you go in here and you look at this, you know, everybody's like,
Well, we can't prove anything that he did. Yeah, I know that. But guess what? We're getting there. And there's so much shit that's going on. If you're not watching these podcasts, if you're not following all of them, then let me know. If you don't want to be involved in Summer's case, I'll remove you from the thread. You can handle something else. You know, I'm not saying you just have to leave completely, but if you're not going to follow in these threads, you know, we have 3 brand new cases coming in. If I don't have anybody to follow them, then, you know, it's only going to make my life, you know, crazier than it is right now. But I didn't reach out to these people. Laura did, and she's trying to help, and she has no clue. Like, you know what I mean? Because she's doing things. She's not involved in all of this stuff that we do. She's involved, but she only manages, like, the Arizona case. You know, plus we have this psychotic case with this homicide from Arizona, which I don't have everybody. You know what I mean? Because there's so much. It's too huge. Summerwell's case and this homicide case are huge. There's so much shit and so much shit that we have to do that, you know, I'll find somebody a case. You have to follow. You have to be the one handling it. Because I can't do anymore. So if you know, did anybody have got all these podcasts aren't the norm for summer? I mean, not all the cases are like that. You know, we thought we had a lot of shit whenever we were doing Caitlin's case. Caitlin's case doesn't put a patch on the ass. Honest to God. At this point, I'd be... what did I say to you yesterday, Mary, about James? I can't even remember. Oh, my God. There's so much shit happening so fast with this case that I can't even remember what happens from day to day. Right. Like, I literally have to go back and say, okay, that happened on Friday. But then this happened. I mean, Cher just did a huge podcast that, like, basically blew him out of the water. But I have a person who was listening in on that call when she called Dawn on Saturday about that $50,000. I'm sure some of you don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. But that's not even how it went down. Cher is lying about shit. Cher is trying to... Listen, the guy that wrote... I can't even think, Catherine. What's that doctor's name? The one with the documentary. Which doctor? Are you still here? The doctor that was talking to Cher. I don't know about the doctor that was talking to Cher. He's not really a doctor. He's a TV show. What's his name? Oh, Dr. Bell? No. Dr. Oz wants to buy the rights to Summer's story. Oh. Cher. That's right. I mean, this shit is off the hook. That's why she's doing what she's doing the last 2 days. That's why she's been doing it from the jump. But I mean, I'm saying that's why she jumped ship. And it's not because she knew that Dawn was done with her. And, right, Dawn caught on to her, and she knew, and so she's twisting shit around. I mean, I have hundreds of text messages of conversations that Dawn's done. And I'm not saying he's not guilty. I'm just saying that our point as advocates is to give justice to the victims. Right. If you can't be a part of it because this case is overwhelming, then just let me know. And I'll give you something else to do. Believe me, there's plenty of shit to do. Yeah, there's a lot of... I went... With the documentary. Which doctor? Are you still here? The doctor that was talking to Cher. I don't know about the doctor that was talking to Cher. He's not really a doctor. He's a TV show. What's his name? Oh, Dr. Bell? hundreds of text messages that are right. Like, I literally have to go back and say, okay, that happened on Friday, but then this happened. I mean, Cher just did a huge podcast that, like, basically blew him out of the water, but I have a person who was listening in on that call when she called Dawn on Saturday about that $50,000. I'm sure some of you don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. But that's, like, I literally have to go back and say, okay, that happened on Friday, but then this happened. I mean, Cher just did a huge podcast that, like, basically blew him out of the water, but I have a person who was listening in on that call when she called Dawn on Saturday about that $50,000. I'm sure some of you don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
This is around the time of the hoax call. You'll hear them talking about it, but they're mentioning somebody called Dawn. I can't catch the name. And they were interfering, and when they were talking about when Dawn was saying he owed somebody $50,000, I believe that's what they're talking about.
But that's not even how it went down. Cher is lying about shit. Cher is trying to listen. The guy that wrote what's I can't even think, Catherine. What's that doctor's name? The one with the documentary. Which doctor? Are you still here? The doctor that was talking to Cher. I don't know about the doctor that was talking to Cher. He's not really a doctor. He's a TV show. What's his name? Oh, Dr. Bell? No, Dr. Oz wants to buy the rights to tell her story. Oh, Cher. That's right. I mean, this shit is off the hook. That's why she's doing what she's doing the last 2 days. That's why she's been doing it from the jump. Yeah, but I'm saying that's why she jumped ship. And it's not because she knew that Dawn was done with her. And, right, Dawn caught on to her, and she knew, and so she's twisting shit around. I mean, I have hundreds of text messages that are conversations that Dawn done. And I'm not saying he's not guilty. I'm just saying our point as advocates is to give justice to the victims. Right. If you can't be a part of it because this case is overwhelming, then just let me know. And I'll give you something else to do. Believe me, there's plenty of shit to do. Yeah, there's a lot of I went through that storage group thing. Oh my God, there's just so much stuff in there. That's not. Yeah, I know. We've been. That's not even everything. That's not even everything. That's not even the tip of the iceberg. We've gotten so much shit that we don't even have. I don't even have time to go in there and explain everything to you guys. That's why we're just doing dumps in there because we're just putting it in there as we can dump it because we're getting so much shit on. I literally have been on my phone since Saturday. When did Kim call me? Saturday? I don't know. I think it was Saturday.
We're listening to it, and here she's talking about when did Cam call her? Saturday.
And, you know, he was the guy he's that guy that cracking cases guy. And, you know, he's willing to go down and do boots on the ground. And I've given him a little bit of shit to see what happened with it, and if he would put things out there, and he didn't. The only thing he put out there was something that I told him to put out there, and Benny blew it right out of the water, because I knew I couldn't trust Benny. But I wanted to see, because Tim kind of needed to know that he couldn't trust Benny. And
Trust Benny for what? Benny hired you for Tim. Why can't you trust Benny? Like, why does YouTube got to be brought to this when you're supposed to be handing out flyers and advocating for a missing child? Was this about making profit on YouTube, or was this about finding the missing child? Why are you from Pennsylvania down there in Tennessee playing these fuck shit games? This is why I keep playing it. I want Mr. Flynn to hear the games you played in Summer's case, so that you are never in my city putting up flyers for missing people ever the fuck again. In my opinion, you suck.
backfired in his face. But I told him to do it on purpose.
Highway.
Right. So cracking cases knows not to trust Benny. Yeah. Good. Because I told them.
It isn't a phone call, Angel on Earth. It was on their YouTube page. They accidentally had a live, and then they hit the hot mic button. They kept it recording. So they were talking while it was recording and playing on live, and they didn't know it was playing. Again, very unprofessional for a 501c3, especially for my city, for my small town, for many areas where I live. My connections. You're looking at them. Why are my connections not possible?
The first time I saw their first video, yeah, he had Benny. I said Benny is going to screw it up. Oh, Benny is following Sharon around because Benny is following Sharon around because Benny wants to be on Dr. R's show. Right. I mean, I talked to Benny, and he said, "Can you come on and talk to me and Sharon?" I was like, "Fuck her. No, I'm not talking to Sharon." I know that woman is trying to get her. That woman is like, oh man, I was trying to sit there. It took me almost 3 hours to go through one of her videos because it just, it was horrible. She sounded like, I don't know, she was drunk, high. I don't know, man, but she was something. Well, Sharon's trying to get on. Sharon's trying to get on Chris McDonough's show. Is what Sharon's trying to do now. Because now she loves Chris McDonough. Yeah. Well, everybody doesn't have to tell me on this phone call, but I need you to tell me by tonight what you're willing to do. What you're willing to work on. I know you're saying that's not what I'm saying. Yeah. I know. You know, but if one of these cases, if you feel that you've done whatever you can do, or you can't help with it, or it's too overwhelming, or you can't listen to the podcast, or you can't do whatever, then just let me know. I'll take you off that case. If you feel like you can't help with anything, then let me know, and you can leave. I'm not going to have hurtful feelings towards anybody. Honestly, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just trying to say, like, my cup for months. I mean, this shit's been crazy since January. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I haven't stopped since January. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I haven't stopped literally since January. Right. And
questions about shit that's already here. If you can't read it, then I don't know what to tell you. Mm-hmm. Who's in this chat anyway? It's me, you, Mary, Justin. I'm gonna say Scott. I don't know why the fuck I'm gonna call you Scott. I don't even know anybody named fucking Scott. And Ashley. Vivian was supposed to be on here, but she's dealing with something with her kid. And she might be in jail. I don't know. No, I'm joking. She's not really in jail, but, you know, who knows? You know, when we have to deal with our kids, we all might be in jail. Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm going to end up being in jail if my oldest doesn't start cleaning her damn bedroom that I've been asking for like a week and a half. Yeah, I wish that was the We're about to get remasked, and I don't know what's gonna happen. So the young boy case. The young boy case. Yeah, Ryder. I don't think Josh is in there yet, because Vivian was sending all that shit. I haven't even read either one of those threads, honest to God. When she put that guy in there, I was like, who the fuck is this? I don't even know who this dude is. I'm like, there wasn't a man that filled out this intake. Well, these people want me to set up a masked and unmasked page for our community. I ain't got time to do this shit. What? They want me to they want me to be like the spokesperson for our school district. Wear a mask. I'm not trying to do any of that shit. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. I just know what's right for my family. You know what I mean? And I ain't got time to fucking do any of these goddamn groups. And then the Butler too. Right, the Butler City school district that's above me. There's like 6 districts that like touch base with where mine is. But the one north of us actually sent out a statement that said that if you don't make your kid wear a mask to school, they're calling COS on you. What? Yeah, I'm not even listening.
And let me tell you, the one thing that Detective Flynn did confirm with me was that he found the connections to them and the missing person here in Pittsburgh. So he's on the right path. I put him on the right path. But this is the kind of fuck shit games that We Can Bring You Hope was playing in. This is why I go back to the drug trafficking. This is why I go back, because I know some of the people involved with We Can Bring You Hope. And some of them are not exactly the type of people that you would want looking for missing children, especially when they have addictions of their own. Family members with addictions that are missing, where they're directing the tips to them again and putting the wrong phone number for the police department on their flyers. And it wasn't even supposed to be Zone 3 Police Department that you were putting on there. It was supposed to be directed to Michael Flynn at the Missing Persons Division. Isn't that right, Michelle? Teresa, Damsel, Mary, Scott, Kara, Roxanne, the millions of others of you that are involved in this agency that doesn't do much in our own area. I think it's important that we see your financials. I know that I've run across them and they looked okay. However, you couldn't see the actual printouts to them. I'm going to find out where I go in our city and I'm going to go look that up. But please know you are being looked into. 100 million trillion %. I find what you did in Summer's case disgusting. I don't think it's professional. And I don't think that this is going to find any missing kids. You shouldn't be talking to a share in a cracking. You shouldn't be on YouTube in the middle of the night. You should be 9 to 5 passing out flyers and working for these missing people. If you came out here like us, it would be different, but you're representing yourself as a 501c3 for my city. I can't let that shit fly. I'm sorry. I'm not going to let that shit fly. I just reached out to one of the Campanos. I'm going to send them this video. And we're going to get to the bottom of who each and every single fucking one of you are. Promise you. Because I do know your people, don't I? I think we need answers for Chester. I want Lisa brought home. And most importantly, I want answers for Summer. I've been on here almost my 2 hours. Again, this was my second live. I again played my video where I explained my ties earlier. It'll show you exactly where these people lived in proximity to me. Some of them. The people related to them, connected to them. I do have ties down there to Tennessee in many ways, and I want to know how the fuck Tim Mullen found you. I think this is gross. It's very unprofessional. Just saying. I don't present myself as a professional channel. I'm a speculation channel for entertainment purposes that wants to share a missing child. You're actually an entity funded by the government. A 501c3, a tax write-off. Searching for missing people. I hope they take you out of fucking business. I hope you're never seen again in my city or any other. Because I'm speculating that you aren't good people. Just saying. All right. Peace and love. Share the live. Give it a like. We didn't have many viewers. So tomorrow, make sure you tell your peoples about it to come watch it. I still think this is a very important aspect to Summer's case. I don't know why, but I do. My gut tells me follow the money. Billboards, rewards, fake feds, fake 501c3s. I want to see who got paid for what. I think it's important, especially since I know some of y'all. Hi, Roxanne. When I see you, I'm going to, we won't send no threats out here. I don't care who you are. I ain't scared of you. Get your junkie ass to rehab. You're too pretty and you're beautiful. You shouldn't be all fucked up the way you are. Get it together. Stacy, eggplant penis head, get it together. All right. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow. Watch the live from earlier. Good night. Peace and love. Bye.